Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Cartalia.
I'm Mary Bubala. At this hour, a frantic search up and down the East Coast is underway for Radee Prince. Police say he shot 5 people, killing 3 at a business in Edgewood. He then went north and shot someone in Delaware. He is driving a 2008 GMC Acadia with Delaware tag number PC 64273. WJZ is live with extensive coverage. Jonathan McCall with the impact on the Edgewood community. Rick Ritter with the family and friends of the victims. But we begin again with WJZ investigator Mike Helgren live in Edgewood with new information on the manhunt. Mike?
Mary, they are leaving no stone unturned, looking all along the northeast corridor for this suspect. This all started 8 hours ago at the business here behind me.
Unfortunately, like most suburban counties in America, we are not immune to workplace violence and violence in general.
Just before 9 o'clock this morning, 37-year-old Radee Prince opened fire inside Advanced Granite Solutions in Harford County's Emerton Business Park, where he'd worked for 4 months. The sheriff says he shot 5 co-workers, killing 3 of them.
We know he worked here. We think it ties into the relationship here at work. But it was not, he was scheduled to work today, he was not separated.
I was unloading my tools here, I do maintenance in that building. I could tell something was wrong, and I asked them if they needed help. They said call 911. They had their phones out, but I don't think they were in such a panic they couldn't. So I called 911, they said people were shot in that building.
Prince then fled to Delaware, where he shot another man at a used car dealership.
Our officers were advised by the victim. He gave us the name, who's the same victim, same suspect from Maryland, same description of a vehicle that just shot him and that he was known to him.
The manhunt now stretches along the entire northeast corridor. Police believe Prince acted alone.
So we are again just calling for the public's help not to try to encounter this suspect, but if you see him, please pick up the phone and call 911 and let your local law enforcement know.
Prince has a lengthy criminal record, and a past employer filed a protective order against him in Harford County in February after he turned volatile. He'd also been arrested on gun charges in Cecil County in 2015 and was convicted of burglaries in Delaware in the early 2000s.
He's an armed killer out there, so certainly he is a danger to anyone he encounters.
So again, we want to show you another picture of Prince of that GMC Acadia that he was last seen driving in when he sped away as authorities in Wilmington, Delaware gave a short chase after the shooting in Wilmington. Police say it's very important if you see anything that you give them a call. There's an FBI tip line set up, or just call 911. It is imperative that they catch him. Now 8 hours on the run, and as police have told us, he is desperate. He has no conscience. They don't know what he might do, even though he targeted specifically all of his victims here today. Reporting live, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Mike, thank you. And as we continue to show that car, we do know that police in Delaware say he may no longer be in it, just as we continue our coverage. Rick Ritter is in Edgewood with more from the family and friends of the victims of this shooting. Such an emotional and horrible day out there today, Rick.
Mary, extremely emotional. You know, the multi-state manhunt continues, and at this hour, the families of victims, their friends, they are trying to come to grips with this tragedy, trying to understand why someone would go on a rampage like this. Earlier, when they were hit with the devastating news, we were there to watch the emotional scene play out.
Terrible, man. That is terrible. Terrible, man. Damn.
Just hours after Radee Prince's rampage, the heart-wrenching reality set in.
Unbelievable, man.
Some coming to Edgewood in a frantic search.
2 of my closest friends there, and they're not answering their phones.
Only to find out their loved ones were killed in the heinous crime.
2 of my friends gone, man. 2 of my friends gone.
One family member and friend after the other in tears, buckling to their knees at the Richland Ballroom after deputies delivered the devastating news.
My friend Enos is gone, man. He didn't deserve that.
Marquise, an employee of Advanced Granite Solutions where the deadly shooting took place, was out of work on Wednesday. 2 of his co-workers now gone after being gunned down.
They was hard working, they was honest, They was good people. They was kind and loving and God-fearing, both of them.
Chaplain Alan Siegel was on scene for hours.
It's not much about words, it's about presence. It really is. What can you say under these circumstances? The grief is unbearable.
Dozens are left trying to put together the pieces, hit hard with the unimaginable.
They're just heartbroken about what they witnessed and what they experienced this morning. They just never have seen this experience before. It's devastating to watch.
And the Harford County Sheriff said earlier there were more employees in that workplace and that this situation could have been a lot worse, which is hard to imagine. Of course, the ATF and the FBI now involved with this manhunt as well. And there will be a visual here at 6:30 tonight for the victims in this tragic shooting. I'm Rick Ritter reporting for WJZ. Now back to you.
McCall, with the impact the shooting has had on the Edgewood community. Jonathan?
Yeah, in this area, a number of businesses have set up shop and are close by to the scene of where this all unfolded this morning. A number of those businesses forced to go into shelter in place as investigators began their search for the suspect. Minutes after investigators say that Rodney Prince shot and killed 3 people and injured 2 others at this Edgewood business, police put a number of the other businesses in the area on lockdown.
No, it's just a very unfortunate incident. Sorry that it happened. Usually it's pretty much a quiet area around here, and we were very surprised to see what happened here.
We saw the, I guess, like the SWAT team swarming the hotel.
As the manhunt began, roads were closed and a number of businesses were ordered to shelter in place as law enforcement searched for Prince. Once again, they do consider him armed and Once again, authorities considering Rodney Prince armed and dangerous tonight, hoping to get him off the streets. That shelter in place lifted a few hours after the shooting, and just within the last 30 minutes or so, the Harford County Sheriff's Office began their process of at least wrapping up the scene, their investigation here on the scene. We saw them taking down some of the yellow crime tape, and we're told that they hope to have the scene turned back over to the businesses sometime within the next hour and a half. Live tonight in Edgewood, I'm Jonathan McCall reporting for WJZ.
A difficult process for them to go back in. Jonathan, thank you. Let's go now to Kimberly Eaton, live at Shock Trauma, where 2 survivors are being treated. Kimberly?
And Mary, both of those survivors listed in critical condition tonight. The latest update from Shock Trauma coming just after 4 this afternoon. And to recap, what we can tell you at this hour, 5 people shot, 3 fatally, and those 2 survivors here at Shock Trauma. Now, earlier this afternoon, our media partners, the Baltimore Sun, heard from Governor Larry Hogan that both of these patients were shot in the head. That, at this point, has still not been confirmed by the hospital. Then later this afternoon, we heard from Harford County authorities saying that those 2 patients, one of them had come out of surgery. But that was just before the 2 p.m. press conference earlier this afternoon. Since then, again, all we have heard is that these 2 patients are still listed in critical condition. The extent of their injuries, where they were shot, how many times they were shot, their road to recovery, the process, the treatment process, those details still have not been released, and there's no time frame for when they will be released. We've heard that latest update just after 4 o'clock. I reached back out to hospital administrators asking if we will get more information this afternoon, this evening. I still have not heard back, but as soon as we can tell you more, we certainly will, because we know a lot of people are really keeping an eye on this story, keeping an eye on these 2 patients and sending them well wishes. So as soon as we can give you more information, Mary and Vic, we certainly will.
Kimberly, thank you. Our coverage continues with Sky Chopper 13 and Captain Jeff Long with more on the situation at the business complex at this hour. Captain Jeff?
Taking a look at the back of Advanced Granite Solutions, you can see that the building is completely shut down right now. So looks like the Sheriff's Department deputies have left the scene. There's still some crime scene tape visible around the building, but things are starting to get back to normal a little bit here. Now, taking a look at the business park itself, this is a very big business park with a lot of people in here, and you can see that there's a self-storage facility, there's 7 hotels, 2 office buildings, a large warehouse, and dozens of other businesses, including, of course, Advanced Granite Solutions. So when this business park went on lockdown this morning, you can imagine how many people it affected. And there were a lot of cars in front of these businesses, so there was a lot of people that were not able to leave, as well as people that were not able to get in here. Reporting live from Sky Chopper 13, I'm Captain Jeff Long. Back to you.
Captain Jeff, thank you. And let's check back in with WJZ investigator Mike Helgren, who's live in Edgewood with even more information about the suspect. Mike?
Jessica, I want to read to you some of the restraining order that was filed against him earlier this year from his boss. After he punched an employee in the face. It was not at this company, but another one. And his boss wrote, he's a big, very aggressive guy. He did not hurt me physically, but I don't want to wait until he will. And he already punched a coworker, so I fear what he'll do to me. Now, this was just a few months before he opened fire here today at this business and then opened fire on another person he knew in Wilmington, Delaware. Let's take another look at Prince's picture. And the vehicle that he was last seen in, that GMC Acadia. He had a long rap sheet, and he had a past address in Elkton, Maryland, in Cecil County, which borders Harford County to the north. And earlier today, WJZ was out in his neighborhood in Elkton talking to people who had associations with him, who knew him. And here is what they had to say.
Elkton's gone a little crazy. They got all the streets blocked off. I'm not sure if they caught the guy yet. The way it looks, they haven't yet. And so I'm hoping that they get this guy, because I got grandbabies out here.
So more from Elkton and Cecil County, and we've been telling you all day about past run-ins he had with the law in Cecil County, including trying to flee from a Maryland state trooper, having a weapon in his car, screaming at a police officer. These were over the past 2 years. But he also has family in the Wilmington, Delaware area. He was last seen there heading north of Wilmington, and authorities just want to find him at this point, and we'll keep you updated on any new developments. Back to you.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. Let's go to Vic in the newsroom with more on the investigation for us. Vic?
Of course, Mary, multiple police and federal agencies are involved in the search for Roddy Prince. The FBI is running this billboard on highway signs from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia and from Salisbury to Atlantic City. In addition to the FBI, members of the ATF are also involved in the investigation. And just a short time ago, Advanced Granite Solutions to send our sincere condolences to the families. May God give our friends eternal rest and the families of the strength to bear the great pain. Prayers and condolences to everyone affected by this tragedy. As police comb the area looking for Prince, there is a heavy police presence along Interstate 95 in both Maryland and Delaware. Cruisers are stationed at cut-throughs in the median, and you will see them if you're driving in that area. Back to you, Mary.
All right, Vic, thank you so much.